Hello, awesome people. I hope you are having a great day today. Today I want to take a look at my review of the 2014 video game on Steam called Craft the World. It's an independent game and so forth. It's made by Dekovir Entertainment and published by Black Maple Games. For your folks, it's released near the end of 2014, so it's around a little more than 10 years old. In November 24th for you folks. And so there you go. I like to do some older reviews for this Wednesday for you folks. I thought this would be a fun thing for me to go back and knock out for you folks. Since I like indie games, I like also in supporting them, and I also like, like I did recently reviews for Golftopia and Arcade Tycoon, both indie games and so forth. I like to on Wednesday out of my channel to do some of these older reviews for you folks, and there you are, and such. So anyway, so my notes are here on a phone in 4 pages of a 22-point font. So if you see me looking down or trying to figure out what I wrote, it's because that's where my notes are and so forth. And I'm not giving you the eye contact that you deserve. I did read them ahead of time to make sure that I knew the words ahead of time I could read them. But if you still see me doing it, then that's the reason why. So I apologize for that right up front. So I played this game. I played in early access, and I also played it some and right after release and so forth. I actually left a review in 2015 on Steam and so forth. So I played 142 hours in multiple playthroughs and so forth. It's right now for sale at $19. This is not $19.99. It's actually $18.99 for you folks. No sales. There are a few DLCs that are out there for this, but this will not be a review of those. One of those is actually just released about 6 weeks ago in December, so I haven't played that at all or even purchased it. So that adds a world to it and so forth. Some of these are actually pretty good. There's one that adds female dwarves that look pretty cool with red hair and so forth, and then there's some that add some new worlds to go to and different challenges, different creatures to fight and dig down and that sort of thing. So, but I haven't, this is not a review for those folks. So on Steam, it has 88% positive with thousands of reviews. I checked the Metacritic score to see if there were enough critics this time that actually have an average review, and there weren't. There were just 2. You have to have 4. So I have checked that out for Arcade Tycoon and Golftopia, but because those were indie games in the last few years, they didn't have enough reviews to give them an average review on Metacritic. I was hoping that since this one has more than 10 years, it would have enough, but it just doesn't. It only had 2. Sorry about that. So here is a lot of the things you have to do, right? Number 1, you have to harvest things above ground, like wood from trees that got chopped down, and food from berries, and the other things too, like water and wool from sheep and leather from animals that you fight and kill. Then you have to dig down as these dwarves that you control and so forth, and dig down and get things like earth, stone, coal, iron, mithril ores, sand, and that sort of thing to do various things with and so forth. And so basically and then what you'll do is you'll actually craft some of the things physically first, and then later on you can actually use an auto make button for them and such, and then you can make things like infrastructure for things like ladders that will let them climb, or things, ramps, stuff for them to go walk on vertically, infrastructure level things, as well as torches to give them light and that sort of thing. So that keeps them up. And so you'll regularly be making those 3 things and placing them. I keep those 3 things in my quick list of stuff to make. Then you place it physically, and then a dwarf goes and grabs it from the supply, and then they physically place it. So that's actually what will happen in the game proper, if you will. You can also make rooms and bedrooms for people with your dwarves, like beds and furniture for the beds and chairs for them to sit down in. You want to have 1 bed per dwarf. All right, makes sense. You can also make things like furnaces and ovens to craft those and place those, which will make other things, right, and so forth. So you can place a table, for example, and then make food from your ovens, and he'll make your dwarves happy. and so forth, in order to help them keep doing your things well, your various orders well, and keeping them happy. Also, they want food differences, so try to give them different things out on the table and make different things from your oven, right? And that sort of things that you just want to do, right? Just like you don't want to eat salad every day for every meal, right? Your dwarves don't either. Oh, there's a mixed green salad. Yeah, so so you right. So you need to give them a nice and different meal in order to keep them happy. You can also make them weapons and armor for your folks. You will learn different levels of levels and such and so forth. So you want to make your dwarves tools to equip. The better your materials are, the better and more damage your weapons will do, and the more damage your armor will absorb. So you definitely want to improve those very, very fast for you folks. And so, for example, like armor, there's not just like breastplate, there's also like helmets and greaves and arms. So you have to have 4 different things of armor and then 1 weapon for you folks. All right, and then basically what will happen is that the different weapons that you give them, they'll use different skills and will fight from different ranges. So if you give them a melee weapon, like a sword, they'll just go charge and fight in melee combat. If you give them a bow, then they'll fight at range. And if you give them a staff, they will fight like a wizard from range 2 and use wizard spells and attack them and so forth. So there you go. It's kind of fun stuff. You can also make tools for them too, like buckets to collect water and so forth, or better swimming. There's different objects that you can give something that's better for blacksmithing and that sort of thing, like a whetstone, that sort of thing. So your weapons, like I said, and so those are great stuff, and you definitely want to make sure. Also, you want to have somebody that has has given, as they have tools, you want to have somebody giving it a pickaxe to dig or a shovel to big digging, and then also you'll need to give somebody a hatchet if you're chopping down those trees. Or two if you've got the power and the time. So each dwarf can learn skills that improve over time. You can actually assign them to various things on level and improve up and actually grow them up and that sort of a thing. And there's actually books and so forth that you can learn skills that you'll find as you dig down into the underground. There is a tech tree too to use, and as you'll get better as you use it, and whether that's spells that you cast personally yourself for magic, or whether that's you building them, or later on for higher level things your dwarves will actually have to go physically make them out of, like ovens or like a kiln and that sort of a thing. So there is a way. There's a magic station that will make healing potions and potions that mana. So to heal your dwarves and so forth, you want that early. As soon as you can get that, you'll want to build it. And then those potions can be used in bad battles when your dwarves are about to die to heal them. You can also use the mana to heal up your own stuff, because again, you have casting spells. You're casting spells like teleport spells and force spells to make more forests and that sort of thing. So there are a variety of different spells that you can use for various things. You can also use them in combat, like fireball and stuff like that, and such too. So there are also combat spells that you're using and casting. So every so often, there is an invasion wave from above ground of scaling up as time goes on undead for folks that move slowly to your base from where they spawn. So you need to watch a timer at the top of your map that's going to be following it along to make sure that you're giving yourself the ability to defend yourself and so forth. This gives the game an aspect of tower defense. To play along the intact, you can actually build turrets. Throw fire missile weapons at them. You can build traps along the path, like cages to keep them caught up while they take damage and are attacking, but that'll just break out of it. Or you can give them like man traps on the ground, like steel traps or wooden traps, to increase how much damage they're going to take along the way. So you can build that up, build up your defenses too, and so forth. So that's pretty cool too. You can also get bad guys to, as you delve down into darker places. Also, a goblin camp will spawn above ground. It's a ways to attack you too. You can go take them out during the day, all up and down the block. As you fight, you can kill them and get some of their stuff, like weapons or armor. In some cases rare, but typically things like bones for undead, skeletons, or maybe brains from zombies, that sort of a thing, or goo from certain monsters that you might kill to make potions with, and that sort of thing. So that's good stuff. You level up. Like as you level up yourself, not just your dwarves, you'll get more and more dwarves that come out. If a dwarf dies, a new one will respawn after about 5 minutes, but there'll be a younger dwarf that you have to level up and re-practice and retrain and so forth. So you can build floors and walls and roofs, so you can build a home overground with a castle and so forth, or all your dwarves all nice and neat. Or you can build an underground like Moria from Middle-earth and so forth. When I started this, and I was playing it myself, I did it underground because that's the fastest and easiest way, and it's also easier to protect yourself because because the waves, like I mentioned before, come above ground and will attack your above ground stuff. So I didn't even think about it, and then I watched a Let's Play, and I saw somebody actually build it overground. I'm like, and because they could put their turrets above ground, that sort of thing, and have better defenses, I was like, why am I not doing that? So I started doing that myself. So you can do either one. There are benefits and negatives to each of them, and that sort of a thing. So, like I said, after you win each level, it advances to the next level. So there's a way to win the levels and kill something nasty, and then advance your dwarves to the next level. And then the next level will be a different map with a harder level. And so, for example, the first one is this nice area with lots of forest, lots of walk, free to mine, lots of things for you to get underground, like coal or charcoal, right? And from in iron ore and so forth. So the first one I think you go to, if I remember correctly, is deserts. As an example, you can imagine deserts aren't going to be as good as wood, right? That sort of thing. But if you need sand, you're going to have tons of sand for things. And sand are used for things like growing crops on, or that sort of thing. And so there is value in sand. For you folks, and it's used for some things out there. So it's good stuff. Also, so you can either way you can do what you need to do. So this does, like I mentioned before, it does feel like a tower top defense version of these various games and so forth. It definitely feels inspired by Terraria and Dwarf Fortress kind of combined, if you will. It looks much better. It's got this throwback art. It looks nice and neat. It's beautiful, gorgeous stuff. Love it lots. You can collect tons of things, build tons of other things, and fight tons of other things. Love it lots. So craft your world. It can be a bit slow in the early game while you're waiting for your stuff to build, or you're waiting for the next level ups and so forth. And you don't have enough dwarves to build all the things that you're asking them to do, so you'll have some queues up and so forth, but later on it'll be much faster and so forth. But again, it's a 10 out of 10 for my folks. I love it lots. That's Craft Your World for you folks. It's gorgeous. It takes some of the best things from Terraria, Dwarf Fortress, and adds like some things like the Death Tower defense and such. Love it lots. So there you are, and again, 10 out of 10 for you folks. And this is again from 2014 by you folks, and it's so have you played this indie game? If so, what did you think about it? Your opinion should survive mine. Did you agree or disagree with 10 out of 10? If so, what did you think? Let me know your thoughts. Remember, I'm not a game critic. I'm not trained. I don't do this during as a career or a passion, right? I didn't get a copy of this. Right? So this is all just my opinion as a fan of games, right? And as I mentioned before at the start of this, I try to do a Wednesday review of these older video games for you folks, in order to just to help build up the stuff that this channel is tries to do a lot of older things. Like, for example, I have 3 videos a week of older science fiction, horror, and fantasy video games of things, not necessarily video games, although those are true, but I try to do like novels or short stories or novellas or poems too, from the genres, right? So, for example, right now I've got an H.P. Lovecraft short story out, and I'm currently publishing things from The Monkey's Paw that was written in 1902 by W.W. Jacobs that put him on a map in a major way in the horror and fantasy genres. Also, I just published a Lynn Carter sword and sorcery short story from the 70s to get you some ideas of the kinds of things I like to do. So if that's something that sounds like it would be fun for you, then go ahead and hit that subscribe button and be told of all these different things. I also spend my Fridays on throwback things for movies. I just ranked my King Kong films last week, and then I did my top 10 Godzilla films 10 weeks ago. I also dedicate my Saturdays to a serial, movies, and storytelling as a lost art, and so forth. All these old things are a key part of the passion of this channel, right? That's where the name comes from. The worst thing about new books. That's a quote by a French philosopher named Jacques Joubert, who said that the worst thing about them was that they kept us from reading the old ones, right? And this is definitely some older stuff. Even, and this game is even 10 years old in a couple months. Right, so it's right. So I try to find a lot of these things, even if you're not always just reading it, right? But a lot of these things that were heavily influential on us, and that sort of a thing. So that's the passion of this channel. And so again, if that's your thing, hit the like button, the subscribe button, share it with your friends, and please make sure that if they like Craft the World or any new video games, so just video games generally, make sure that you share this with them too. And there you are. Finally, I want to thank you so very, very much for taking some time out of your day and investing it and watching my videos, right? Because we all have so many things that are happening, right, in our lives, and we're pulled in so many different directions. So the fact that you spent this time with me, that's incredibly humbling. So I appreciate it so very, very much. So thanks again, and have an amazing day.